Hello. Sweet. Let me overlay this. There you go. Nice. Hello. Okay. That's working. Just knock this over a little bit. Awesome, everyone. Thanks for joining. I think I see messages a little bit later than everyone else, but I'm assuming everything's working okay. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to check my LinkedIn's flyering. I think it is. Perfect. I'm going to check YouTube quickly. Everyone else. Sweet. So everyone, thanks so much for joining. Today's session is on micro offers. So I'm going to go deep into everything on how to close micro offers faster, how to create micro offers, like everything around that whole piece. So we're going to go deep into that, and we're going to have some fun. So first things first is I'm going to open up a quick doc I got for you. Go from there. Cool. Can everyone see the screen or see micro offers, how to close more clients? Okay, I think you guys can. Perfect. All right, sweet. So let me make this bigger for you guys. I'll add my head on the side. Okay, good. Okay, sweet. Lots of yeses coming in. Perfect. Cool. I'm hoping it's all good now. So today's session is on micro offers, how to close more clients faster. This is really relevant if you are like B2B SaaS, if you're agency, if you're coach, if you're consultant, pretty much anyone that sells something that's high ticket, ACV of say like 10K plus, 20K plus, 30K plus can benefit from this presentation. So a little bit about me before I go into stuff. My name's Aman. I post a fair bit on LinkedIn and I run the Media Engine. So before I got into Media Engine, I was growing a 7-figure SEO agency, and I grew that in 2 years with basically zero agency experience. I personally sold throughout that time, and a bit before that, around 9 million in revenue, so B2B and B2C. And more recently have been running Media Engines. I've been laser focused on LinkedIn ghostwriting, setting, helping agencies, coaches, consultants book basically more calls on LinkedIn, either through a done with you or done for you basis. And as a result of booking those calls in, I want to help people close more deals as well. Now, plus the additional data is I've worked on 40 plus LinkedIn accounts. I've created hundreds of offers. I've booked in thousands of calls organically. And I have a big fondness for loving growth, marketing, and sales. So all of that really interested with. So my goal for you is to make this like as actionable as possible. And so to do this, I have some questions to ask. So you can answer this in the DMs or just answer it in the chat. All you say is, what type of business do you run and where do you get your clients from? Just so I have some context so I can make the rest of this presentation very valuable for you. So you just need to type in what type of business do you run and where do you get clients from? I'm going to turn this overlay off. This doesn't look good. There we go. A bit better. So agency, LinkedIn. Perfect. Strategic branding agency mostly client referrals, cold email, executive coach, super interesting. IT services, landing page, consultancy, cold email, HubSpot agency. Okay, loads of stuff. So everyone's mainly getting through a bit of referrals, some inbound, and a bunch of other flows as well. So super valuable stuff. Cool. So I'm going to tell you what your business looks like with a micro offer and without. So there's two doors. One door is filled to the brim. It is people lining up outside trying to buy from you. And then one door looks closed. It's basically no one outside. It's a door that's kind of unopened, and there's a lack, there's a missing element of what can be possible on that second door. So your business with a micro offer looks drastically different. And I want to show it to you and how that can happen. So there is loads I want to speak about micro offers. Before I get into it, I want to tell you a bit about why micro offers are important. We're living in a day and age where trustworthiness is at all-time low. So buyers don't trust sellers. Buyers don't trust the fact that sellers are competing in a market, and buyers like to compare sellers a lot. So what that means is buyers are taking your quote, getting like 4 or 5 other quotes, going onto Google, searching on search terms for competitive solutions, and it's just benchmarking everyone. And so as a result, if you're just going things about the normal way, you're going to have a slightly below than average close rate. And I say slightly below than average because if everyone was playing equally, you'd all have average close rates. Say like everyone's closing at 20%. Because there's a type of person that's doing the strategy that I'm just going to describe here, or doing a strategy that's even better than this, for example, they're going to close at a higher rate. So right now, your default is below average. So we need to get you above average. We need to get you closing more deals, closing more clients, and getting in the door more. And this is going to show you how to do that. So there is so much to speak about when it comes to micro offers, like everything from the fundamentals to finding clients to pitching and upselling. I just don't have the full capacity and time to go through every single piece of a micro offer. So I'm going to pick out the most valuable bits that I believe are going to get you results really quickly. So I'm going to walk you through the 3 most important pieces. So on the left-hand side, that is, what is a micro offer, examples of micro offers, and how to price micro offers. In the middle piece, I'm going to show you the highest converting method to finding micro offer clients. And on the third piece, I'm going to show you the highest converting method to transition from a micro offer to a fully baked retainer. So that's what we're going to do on this call today. I want to put my face on here somewhere. Is there a way that I can do that? Maybe not. Okay, we'll carry on. How do I make this smaller? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to make this slightly smaller so you can see me. Okay, let's do it this way. All right. So again, the problem we're seeing that we're operating in a low trust, high competition environment. Buyers want to try before they buy. They want to avoid long contracts. Buyers are comparing quotes and offers. So ultimately, sellers are being commoditized, and we're going to solve this problem now. So what's the solution? Micro offers. So this is what a micro offer is. A micro offer is definitely not a retainer. It's not expensive, and it's not a long-term contract. Instead, a micro offer is a one-time purchase. It's affordable, it's fast to fulfill, it gives tangible results, it's got profit margins, it leads easily into your main service, and it's something the market doesn't have access to standalone. So a standard micro offer, like at the most basic level, a micro offer must be one-time affordable, productized, and give a result. Like that's the most basic level. So if you can get 4 things ticked on that 6 or even 7 list, you're doing really well. The 5th bullet on high profit margins, I think, is a nice to have. I know micro offers that actually lose money and are still very profitable in the back end. So, for example, an example of a loss leading micro offer might be like a consultation call. Like the consultation calls, in all, actually lose businesses money all the time because the person giving the consultation is extremely expensive most of the time. A micro offer that does really well for upsells has to lead into your main service. So it needs to easily push through and be correlated to the main thing you sell. And then finally, the best micro offers of all time are something that the market doesn't have access to standalone. Like there's no other way to buy that thing. That's when your micro offer does incredibly well. So I'm going to show you some examples of micro offers just to make it really hit home. So I want to get your brain moving in the right way. Here's 6 examples of micro offers. So all of these examples are one-time, affordable, fast to fulfill, and solve a real pain point. Some of them are higher profit margins, and the best lead into the main service. So I'm going to show you some examples, what I mean by that. So a really good micro offer for a paid ads agency is I'll repurpose your existing assets into 15 winning BFCM creative in under 7 days for $1,500. Like it's so clear what you get. It's so easy to buy. It makes a lot of sense. Another one is the very bottom one. So if you're an SEO agency, and I know there's probably SEO agencies going to be watching this, land you 10 DR80 plus brand mentions in 14 days guaranteed. Like, and that's very possible if you're, just finding unlinked mentions. These things give really tangible results very quickly, and it's very powerful for the buyer. There's also ones that are more like workshop style. So design your demand gen strategy in a single 2.5 hour session. I know a business that runs it around like something along these lines, and they've told me they're doing really well from it. We've personally toyed with the idea of create your full LinkedIn content strategy in a single hour. I pretty much can do that in my sleep, and it's incredibly valuable. So that's something we've always considered as well. The ones that are giving away workshop time, in my opinion, are the most unprofitable because that time is really valuable. So if I was to sell my time, I'm probably not going to make profit in a micro offer. But if I'm selling a deliverable, and that works really well for agencies, you generally are going to make a profit. So think about it this way: you want to choose something that's giving a deliverable away, not a workshop. But workshops convert really well because people want one-on-one action, one-on-one time. To the questions, if the presentation will be available after the call, yep, 100%. It's going on my YouTube and it's going to stay on LinkedIn forever. Now, if you noticed, there was a bunch of pricing here, and the pricing was purposeful. What I did, the pricing has to be, in my opinion, between $500 and $2,000. It basically needs to be enough that it's not a complete impulse purchase, because I want a serious person to buy from this, but not too much that it becomes unaffordable. So if I price any of these at $100, they would get bought too quickly. It would cause way too much load for the business. If I priced it above $2,000, it just becomes a agency service. So in my opinion, like going around $500 enables most of the market or the wrong people to say no, and the right people will always say yes. / they'll say yes up to about $1,000, $2,000, etc. So that's micro offer fundamental. That's like the very first section that I walked through. So firstly, drop any questions below. Just bear in mind that I'm going to see it like in 60 seconds for whatever reason. And to type in 1, 2, or 3. 1 if you hate the idea of micro offers. 2 if you're indifferent on micro offers, and 3 if you're excited by micro offers. And I'll watch up there. Cool. So 3, nice, excited. 2.5, fair enough. 3, 3. I also don't mind if you say 1. That's completely cool. 5. Stephen, there we go. Perfect. Cool. Feel free to drop any questions, but we'll come back around to it. Tom, interesting point. It seems like a lot to manage. Really interesting. A micro offer isn't, in my opinion at least, a lot to manage. The best micro offers don't take much extra work because they're already things you're doing inside your business that aren't going to require extra time. So we didn't really go through this because it's not really part of today's session, but there is an element of like how to ideate micro offers. And in this section, in this doc I have that we talk about, generally I try to advise people to only create micro offers that are you already doing, because then you don't have to create extra workload. You just try to like reposition what you're already doing and just make it worth something. So that's the best ones, but of course it is work as well. Creating offers is always work, but creating offers always has a high ROI. Cool. So finding micro offers. I have 4 methods for finding micro offer clients. I'm going to give you the easiest one to run, but it requires you to have churned clients or leads you couldn't close. My other ones don't require you to have the above, so you can get them from warm or cold audiences. But my easiest one is you have got to have a churn client or a lead you couldn't close. And I assume most people on this call will have that situation. So method 1 is the first way to find a micro offer client is to work through your CRM and identify any deals you've missed. So I personally ran this one, and one of our churned clients ended up coming back to us and then re-signing and then having a higher LTV than some of my clients that signed on for the full retainer on the first end. And all I need to do is I need to reactivate this closed, lost, or churned client by simply emailing them with a personalized email or Loom video. And I'm going to give you the exact script that I used, and it promise you it worked, and it probably has added maybe 20K of LTV so far, and it's still going because this client just not going to churn. So here's the script. It says, hey, first name, hope you're good. I know you, and then what happened. So what happened being you just need to reference exactly why they churned or why it was a closed loss situation. So for example, I know we ended up parting ways 3 months ago because you wanted to go with an interior solution or internal solution. Since we spoke, we recently launched a new service for other B2B SaaS companies with a winning playbook. It specifically helps you create more ads. I think this is a better fit for your budget, given that was a constraint. Then you go and put your micro offer statement. So your micro offer statement is the same thing that I said a bit earlier on, which is one of these things. It's like, it says like, we'll do something, we'll get an outcome, and it's going to happen for a price. So you effectively say, here's your micro offer statement. This is the deliverable you're going to get. It's deliverable. And you really importantly say this line. You say no contract or retainer. You say you're not stuck in for the long term. You're just doing this a one-time thing, standalone, 100% done for you, whatever it is. I'm looking to only work with 3 clients in this for the next couple of months. Let me know if you want to have a call to discuss. What does this do? What is this email doing? One, it's referencing that you're not coming out cold. You're referencing you know what's happened in case the churn was bad or in case the close loss was awkward. You're calling out what they want because you know what they want already, and you're explaining why they churned or they lost. Like you understand what happened with that deal. You then give a statement and you be very clear that it is a micro offer. And this is how you define a micro offer, no contract or retainer. This is a little bit of urgency. I mean, you don't have to do this. I like to do it because it just means I get a reply faster. And then finally, let me know if you want to have a call and discuss. I don't want my frame to be reduced. I want to have a authoritative frame in this email. So I'm just saying, if you want to have a call, happy to. Otherwise, I'm going to work with 2 other people anyway. Super chill. This script works. It closed me a client, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it did. That 20K LTV one, and it works really well. So use this script. after this call and go get a client on your micro offer. I have other methods. Method 2 uses social platforms. Method 3 is inbound via content. Method 4 is cold email. So I've got winning scripts that work really well for cold email. But these other 3 methods, sorry, don't need the fact that you have churned or lost. So I've taught you how to find micro offer clients. Do you have any questions? Do you like this method that I've shown? Are you indifferent to this method, or are you excited about this method? What you got to do is respond 1, 2, or 3, and then feel free to hit me with questions or anything you think is a bit difficult, and I will explain to you how to solve it. And then, yeah, I'll go quiet for a few seconds whilst it happens. Cool. 3, nice. 2, fair enough. 3, sweet. Cool. So generally some 3s, maybe a couple of 2s. Shoot some questions. I'm going to carry on to the next section of the talk as well. Cool. I'm going to make the assumption that you've got a micro offer. You went and pitched it. You then closed the client on the micro offer, which is great. You say assume you pitched them on method 1, i.e. they churned or you just didn't get the deal with them. You then closed them on a call. I've got scripts for that. You then delivered the service. How do you upsell them? By the way, to Paul's question, no, you can definitely use this on closed lost. Sorry, you can use this on churn. So I've used this on the churn client before, and it worked completely fine. The churn was not because we did a bad service delivery. It was because we they just had wrong timing or the need or the budget changed basically, and so it was about finding them when they were back in market again. Even if they churn because of bad service delivery, you can still improve over 3 months and then come back into them. So there's like various even churned is completely fine. But anyway, going back to the point, you then delivered the service. How do you upsell them? So this method works really, really well, like very, very well. And so how it works is ideally, some of the clients you close on micro offers, you want to transition to retainers. So I want to be sort of loop this all back together. When we did a micro offer in the first place, we did a micro offer because when we were selling this deal, we were losing deals to competitors because everyone was selling the same thing, that we were commoditized. Now, when we came in with a micro offer, when everyone else was pitching 5K a month, and we came with like, hey, we'll just do it for 1K one-time fee for you, get you started. The buyer saw that as a low risk way to get started. So the buyer bought from you as a micro offer. They still have a need for the retainer. They still are open to hearing about the retainer, but now you're like inside the organization. And so upselling from inside the organization is such a different perspective than selling from outside the organization. You can come across as an internal consultant, as a helpful person, as opposed to coming in from a angle of being a salesperson that doesn't know the organization very well. As a side note, sometimes you don't want your micro offer clients to become retainers. This is like an awesome piece. Sometimes we'd have clients on our smaller offers. I'm like, they just wouldn't work as a done for you client or a retainer client because of whatever reasons. And as an agency, as a coach, as a consultant, as a SaaS company, whatever it is, you need to be incredibly picky about who becomes a client for you, because that can cause you huge operational drag. So if you make the decision that you want this micro offer client to become a retainer client, you're able to do that. That's your, volition. That's your choice. So the first thing is the customer has to know that there's a back-end service or retainer that they can purchase, and that there will be a conversation about it at some point in time. Now, typically you make them aware of this during the sales call. So because when you do your sales call, and there's again a script for this, you would have anchored them at the retainer price. and you would have explained to them they can get you the micro offer price for a much cheaper piece. Now, when they buy the micro offer from you and then you deliver the result, you've solved a pain point. But the way to solve or to sell is you need to create a gap. You need to create pain again. And the reason why is they're elated, they're happy. Why should they buy if they're happy? Well, they kind of shouldn't, because they've kind of solved their problems. So you need to remind them that there is a pain. They haven't actually solved all their problems. And so what you need to do is you need to create a gap. Like, you are here and you need to get here. That's like this big juncture which you need to step over. And here's how you're going to do it. So this is method 2. I have multiple methods for this. And what you're going to do is you're going to give a scorecard. So I run a scorecard on my profile. One of my lead magnets, the example of it is on the right-hand side. But what I'm trying to say to you is a scorecard could look like this. It can look like anything. But once you're in the account, once you're in the business delivering the micro offer, slides are small fonts. Let's do this. Hopefully that helps. Once you're delivering the micro offer, you need to find a way in order to create the gap. And the way you can do this is you can run a scorecard. And what you do in the scorecard is you say, like, hey, you're here, you're at X position. We want to get you to Y position, and this is how we're going to do it. Now, in doing so, the really cool thing that happens is that you're able to then clearly show them their before state, show them their after state, and give them a score for it. And as what they're lacking in, you will be the solution. You will be the piece to jump over the gap. So now you have a scorecard. And when you want to present this scorecard or the audit on the call, it's really quite simple. All you need to do is say, hey, I've scored you out of 10, but our team noticed some things that I want to make you aware of. So they spent a few hours digging into the data. I think it's really interesting for you to see. So the way you present this is either you already got this call booked in for the end of your microservice delivery, which is a thing that you can do as well. And we can talk about that separately. Or you can simply bring it up in the Slack channel, bring it up over text. So the way that I've written this script out is that we've written it out as if we are the helpful consultant. Our team noticed some things I wanted to make you aware of. It instantly feels like I'm helping you. So they spent a few hours digging. We've put effort into this. Please be wary of this effort, but it's really interesting for you to see. Sorry, the spelling's horrendous, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to show them, like, something's gone wrong. Here's your scores. Here's what's missing. Here's what's lacking. Why don't you go and buy the solution? And finally, again, you always want to have that final upsell call already booked in from the start. So you can call it final review call, you can call it in advance, whatever it is, but you need to have this baked in so that you're able to have a slot for you to speak about the micro offer right at the beginning. So cool. That is how you transition micro offer clients into retainer clients. So that's method 2 that I shared with you over here. So again, any questions? And comment 1, 2, or 3. Do you like this method? Are you indifferent with this method? Or are you excited with this method? And feel free to also write your questions. If it's not excited, that's all good. And apologies that the font is small. Let me try to reshare. Maybe that is better. I don't know. It might not be. Cool. 1. Oh, I realized I should have wrote don't like this method. How do I edit? Okay. 1 should have been don't like, but apologies. I feel like I've done that for all of them. Okay. 1 should have always been don't like. Cool. So summary, what have we done on this call that I've hoped been really valuable? 1, I've told you micro offer fundamentals. I've said you what is a micro offer. I've given you examples of micro offers. I've told you how to price a micro offer. I've shown you the highest converting method to finding a micro offer client. And then finally, I've shown you how to pitch an upsell from a micro offer to a baked retainer. So hopefully that was super valuable, and hopefully that has given you some inspiration to create your own micro offers and sell them in the market. Sweet. Now, what I'm going to show to you is like we've written this all out. I've got a whole like 16 pager on micro offers over here, where we have even more scripts, even more sections, all deeply explaining everything there is out here as well. So this is where this content's come from. So remember, I said I'd give you access to everything else. I'm very happy to. Before I go through that, I want to ask, does anyone have any questions about micro offers? We're about half an hour in, so we have about 10 minutes left. So feel free to ask any questions you have on how micro offers work, what a micro offer might be for your business. Very happy to answer it. Cool. Let's see. Are you about to sell us a micro? I'm about to sell you a micro offer. Correct. So let's go for it. So here's my micro offer for you guys over here. So my micro offer is I'm going to give you a 1 hour one-on-one workshop. So we'll spend 1 hour on call together building your micro offer. We'll help you stand out in the market. I'll help you get whale clients, and I'll help you close more clients faster. It will help you increase your profitability. I'm also going to give you a bonus. I'm going to give you this in-depth 13-page guide. So all this over here, that basically tells you the 16 scripts, DM and verbal, that I've personally used to find micro clients, close them, and upsell the future retainer services. And I will review your scripts for you after the call. So like you'll have my base scripts. You can then go do something, and you can go there. The cost is super cheap. I'm going to give it to you for $450. I'm going to break my own rule. I said I would never do anything for under 500. This is me testing it out. An absolute bargain. And I'm going to give you 100% money back satisfaction guaranteed. As I've explained on this, I don't make any money on this offer. Basically because micro offers that are workshops, as you mentioned, don't make any margin because I'm giving away my time, and my time is worth more than that. But that's my micro offer. It's very aligned. Feel free to buy, don't buy, whatever it is. But if you do get the micro offer, again, you get the full breakdown of everything in here. So while we're in here, I'll leave that link in there. Let's also keep discussing about any questions you have. So again, feel free to send messages and I will answer the micro offer questions. It's a full-on Q&A. Calendly shows 350. Wow, my Calendly is wrong. You should buy ASAP. Who can change it faster, me or you? Okay. So I'm going to change my Calendly now. If you buy before it turns to 450, you get the 350 price. So if you don't, that's all good as well. So I'm going to try change it. I'm going to take my time. Okay, I'm changing now. How do I change it? I actually don't know how to change it. This is funny. Okay, got it. 450 now. Yeah, people are saying it creates urgency. I genuinely did not try to do that, but I've changed it to 450. So if you got it at 350, I hope that was useful. Okay, John. So let's go back with the questions. Let's start from the top. So Paul Bauer, can all this be done through LinkedIn messaging, or should we take it over to email and then back to messaging? I think the first message can be done on any platform. So the first message can be done on LinkedIn, or it can be done on email. But the close generally, I think, has to happen over call only because you were trying to go for the retainer first. Now, sometimes you can sell this like without any sales calls. So in that case, you can just do it over message. But whichever doesn't really make a huge difference. What about building out a micro offer one component at a time? The idea of building out the micro offer in my head seems daunting. For example, LinkedIn profile audit, sales link, list building, one and then ultimate putting it all together for a larger micro offer. I think any of those things that you mentioned, a LinkedIn profile audit and a sales nav list building, are both worth like $300 or $400 minimum. So you can put it together for a larger micro offer, and you can give one away as a bonus, like I've done over here. So I've given you the hour call plus a bunch of reading material. Putting more together is really valuable. I think testing multiple micro offers out is even more valuable, because as you test different ones out, you're able to capture different ends of the market and work out what pain points matter. So that was a really good question. I would build them out one component at a time, or 100%, just so I can be laser focused on the pain point I'm solving. Also, try to come up with micro offers that no one else has. So with LinkedIn, there's loads of angles on LinkedIn about unique things that people don't already sell. What would be a micro offer for a LinkedIn growth service? Can you deliver a certain amount of content, or should you offer a consultation call? This is a hard one. So it's hard for me to say, because as I put it out, a lot of people will start doing the micro offer and they'll become competitors to me or more obvious to me. But micro offers for LinkedIn growth are obviously profile audits. They are list building. They can be commenting on your behalf. You can do 20 comments a day for $400 for the whole month. Like, there are a bunch of smaller services that one does in LinkedIn growth that can be solved. LinkedIn growth can also be more than just content. It can be creative. You can do carousels for people. You can do static images, infographics. You can do ad creative. There's so many things on LinkedIn that are helpful. So no, actually, I take that back. It's not really competition. There are like an infinite number of micro offers here. Lol, that was so bait. Okay, I don't know. Can I buy your micro offer even though we essentially do the same thing as an agency? I don't know, actually. How do you protect yourself from taking away from the higher ticket retainers? You pitch the retainer first. So that's why I always try to use the micro offer as a downsell if I'm on a sales call. If I'm on a call like this where I'm pitching the micro offer to a lot of people are kind of self-selecting. So it's up to them if they want to buy the micro offer, and so it's got to be quite broad. But publicly speaking, I'm hoping that someone who wants to purchase from me either upsells for the micro offer or doesn't want to buy the micro offer and just comes to me with a retainer anyway. But the fact that I'm pitching an offer is already better than everyone else because I have more surface area in the market. Is it a good idea to pitch the micro offers publicly or in content, or should you do it privately one-on-one? No, you can pitch publicly. So if I go back a few slides. Actually, no, let's go back here. So one of the methods that I use is inbound via content. So there are ways that you can write posts that enable you to pitch your micro offer without everyone knowing it's a micro offer. And this is a really unique thing. You can write a post in such a way that people will come inbound for the thing you spoke about without you even saying that you were selling the thing. And I know that sounds kind of broad and vague, but I go through it in this section over here. So that's the summary. I think that's probably everything. Okay. What about for an outbound agency? Okay, outbound, you have so many micro offers. You can set up clay tables. You can send qualified leads. You can write email scripts. You can scrape data. You can set up data scraping. You can give them there's so many things you can do as an outbound agency. Like, think about every single piece of the service line you deliver, from copy to deliverability to inboxing And then you can create a micro offer that services any piece of that service line. So it's super easy for you as an outbound agency and as any type of agency that is selling a complex high ticket retainer service. You have at least 10 micro offers just within the service you're delivering alone. Cool. Okay, sweet. I think that's all the questions, but I hope that was super valuable. This video is going to be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to link my YouTube to you guys over here anyway, because I hope that's useful. Let me find a video to link. So this is my YouTube. Recently started it. It's doing really well. Feel free to watch anything. And again, here's my Calendly, where you can buy the micro offer consult. And we'll go through other bits and bobs. And then you also get the SOPs as well on the back end. So hopefully that was useful. I'm going to end this call now, but feel free to DM me if you have any more questions on LinkedIn growth, on micro offers, on anything to do with the whole shebang. Thank you so much, and see you next time.